Everyone has a dream that they want to achieve, but so many people never actually start. The problem is when it actually comes to pulling the trigger and starting on your dreams, you get that little voice in your head saying that you're not ready, you need to do this, you're not good enough, you need to do X, Y, or Z first. And this cycle just continues and continues, and you never actually make any tangible progress to your goals. The good news is it's easy to actually overcome this and start making progress for your dreams. If you're new here, my name's Tom, and I'm an engineering student on self-improvement, while sharing everything I learn along the way with you guys. So let's get into it. The problem is to start anything, whether that's work, exercise, moving, or just simply living, it requires energy, and it takes a lot more energy to start these activities than it does to maintain them. Imagine it as riding a bike. The amount of effort you have to put in to push yourself off and start moving those pedals is significantly more than once you've started moving and you're just gliding down the road. The problem is our brain sees this mountain of energy that it needs to start this activity, which a lot of the time is perceived as a lot more than what it actually is. And it starts thinking of every other excuse to not expend that energy on this activity and instead doing something way easier and instantly rewarding, like eating, scrolling, or just procrastinating in general. The good news is that it's really easy to lower this energy level to start working. The first way to do this is to reduce your environmental friction. This one is straight out of the GOAT book, Atomic Habits, which is to make it obvious. A lot of the times we don't start anything because we simply forget to do it, and there's no triggers or visual cues for us to start the work and get going. So what you have to do is put the task that is going to help you achieve your dreams in an obvious place so that you're constantly reminded to do it. If you wanted to learn the guitar, don't hide it away in a cupboard somewhere that you can't see. Place it in the middle of the room where you practice so that you're constantly reminded that I need to go and do that. If you wanted to start that YouTube channel and film those videos, don't just put your camera on a shelf somewhere, put it in the center of your desk so every time you sit down, you're reminded that this is what you want to do. And if it's an important task that you need to do on your computer, make sure that that is the first tab that you have on your screen when you open your laptop in the day. This sounds simple, but you'd be amazed by how much we don't get done simply because we forget it. And this is a great way to be constantly reminded of what we actually need to be doing. The next technique is removing emotional friction. A lot of the time we let our emotions take control of our decision making. Now this isn't our fault, it's been ingrained in us throughout our lives, but it means that the average person nowadays has the mental strength of a loaf of bread. Your brain will tell you that you're tired, it's too cold, you've done enough today, and you just simply won't do the work. The best way to trick your brain into doing things that you don't actually want to do in the moment is the 2-minute rule. Every time you're confronted with a task that you know you should be doing to achieve your goals or dreams, but you just don't have the energy to start it, then all you got to do is tell your brain that you're going to do it for 2 minutes only. And if you still feel the same way after 2 minutes, then you can stop. This can be working for 2 minutes, exercising for 2 minutes, recording the video for 2 minutes, whatever the task may be. All you got to do is tell yourself, I'm just going to do this for 2 minutes. Now this is a mental shift which reduces the perceived energy level to complete that task so that your brain is actually able to start it. Telling yourself on a cold winter's morning that you're going to go run 5 kilometers is obviously going to take a lot more mental effort than I'm just going to run to the end of the road, and if I still feel really cold, I can just go home. The good thing is once you've started these 2 minutes, you often feel like carrying on because you've already overcome that initial energy required to start the task. You can then continue this. So if you get 2 minutes down the road and you feel like, oh, I can just run up to the next street for 2 minutes, you can continue doing this until you feel comfortable enough, and before you know it, you've completed what you wanted to do. However, what's important here is that you do actually stop if you don't want to do it after 2 minutes. This may sound counterproductive, but if you actually lie to your brain, then what you're going to do is every time you try and use this method in the future, your brain's going to tell you that you lied to me last time, I'm not going to even do the 2 minutes because I know you're going to force me to carry on. So if you're really not up to it, then you can just stop and try a different technique to get you going again. And at the end of the day, if you only get 2 minutes in, then that's still 2 minutes of progress towards your goal, which you didn't have beforehand. And as we know, it's all about those little victories. Another great way of tricking your brain into starting an activity is actually breaking down the task into the smallest steps that you can. Now this is very similar to the 2-minute rule, but instead of a time frame, you're breaking it down into the next step that you need to take, which again lowers the energy level required to start. So take the example of running a 5K again. It's cold, you're tired, and you really don't want to do it, but all you got to tell yourself is, I've just got to put my shoes on. That's the next tiny step to start making progress in the activity you want to do. Your brain knows that putting your running shoes on isn't hard compared to running an entire 5K. So you're much more likely to go through with it. And the next step can be just doing some simple stretches to get yourself warmed up. Again, really easy because you haven't even left your house yet. You can then go and fill your water bottle. Now you feel more ready for a run, you can just jog to the end of the street. Then you realize that you're already outside in your clothes, starting your run, so you can just do the next kilometer, and then the next until you actually complete your entire goal. This method again reduces the perceived energy required to start these tasks, as lots of little steps seem much more manageable than doing the entire thing in one go. You then find that once you tick off these easy wins, you start building energy and momentum into completing the entire task. Another great way to help you get started on your dreams is actually tracking your progress. We as humans love rewards and streaks and everything like that. Tracking this progress allows us that satisfaction of reaching personal bests or making progress in our goals. And this motivation works both ways. We love keeping a streak of working on our goal every day and hitting personal bests. But similarly, seeing our failures, such as 3 crosses on our habit tracker in a row, can be what we need to snap ourselves out of it and get back into making progress. The next technique is getting an accountability partner. This draws on our social obligation to not let people down. If you specifically told someone that you're going to be doing X or Y or making progress on your dream and you don't end up going through it, you're going to feel like you've almost let them down. So use this to your advantage. If you're struggling to go to the gym or on a run, then bring a friend so you feel obliged to go. If you want to work or wake up or complete a task by a certain time, then get someone to call you at an arranged time or at the end of the day, so that you're motivated to work so that you don't disappoint them. Now, all these techniques are great on getting you started, but if it's all going wrong, it's also really important to forgive yourself. Being too hard on yourself when you're not making progress can start a negative spiral, which is just going to make things worse. It's like self-destructing, thinking that you're back to day 0 and that there's no point even trying anymore because you've already failed. You can see how having this mindset can completely halt your progress in anything in your life, as well as your dreams and goals. When you're feeling frustrated, just pause, take some deep breaths and think, even though I might have been unproductive or distracted, that's in the past now, but I still have however many hours in the day to start making just the tiniest bit of progress. And then use any techniques that we've already talked about just to start that initial process of getting out of that rut and into a more positive mindset. This allows you to stop the rot and make sure that even if you've had a bad day today, you're going to be set up and ready for tomorrow to make more progress. If you really feel yourself spiraling and that you just can't get anything done today, then have a go at journaling. Just write out all your thoughts and problems that you might have come across during the day, so then you can get an action plan going on how you can improve this for tomorrow. And remember to take care of yourself. There you go. Now you know what you need to do. Get out there and start your dreams. If you found this information useful and want to find out more techniques on how to improve your life, then check out the first link in the description about my private community and coaching. And as always, love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.